Alright, I'm LQ, and this is the LQ Review. I'm back with another movie review for you. As always, I will go over what is good, I'll go over what is bad, and I'll give my rating. My rating will be one of 3 ratings. It will have, yes, go see this movie. No, you should probably skip this movie. Or roll the dice on this movie. You might like it. This movie is called Fighting with My Family. It is... I said earlier that it was the new Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie, but it's not. It's not a Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie. He's barely in it. If anything, it's the new Vince Vaughn movie. But it tells the biographical story of the wrestler Paige, how she goes from wrestling local matches in England to making the WWE. I'm not a wrestling fan, so I don't know if I'll use the terminology right all the time. But that's the great thing about this movie. It worked for me, even though I'm not a wrestling fan. It worked for me as a biography. It worked for me as a sports movie. It worked for me as a rags to riches movie. Really good, inspirational movie. The good. Florence Pugh. I don't know how to say her last name. But she played Paige, and she was excellent. This actress has a future. She was wonderful. The intensity, the self-doubt, the angst, even the family love that she had with her family, all of it was great. She was intense when she had to be intense, and she showed weakness when her character showed weaknesses and character flaws, and I loved her in this role. Jack London as Zach, Zodiac Zach, as her brother. He was probably the most nuanced character in the movie, actually. He probably had the most heavy lifting to do because his character was the most complex. It was also his dream to be a wrestling superstar and go to the WWE. And he got called to try out the same time that Paige did, only he didn't get accepted. And he had a great character arc about feeling dejected, feeling jealous towards his sister, even pushing his family away, having a point of self-destruction, and then coming back to realize that he is doing wonderful things with his life. This is a character who runs a wrestling school, and he teaches a blind person how to wrestle. A blind person that would go on to be a pro wrestler. He teaches... he gets people off the streets, gets people away from the drugs. And so one of the themes was you don't have to do your job in front of millions and millions of people to have it be important and to have the job have value. And he had a great arc, and he did a wonderful job in this movie. He was my favorite character in the movie. And acting-wise, I believe he did the most heavy lifting. Yeah, Florence Pugh was good as Paige, but he really did a lot of the really heavy lifting as far as carrying the emotional weight of the movie. Lena Headey and Nick Frost as the parents. I mean, they were perfectly cast. They're good in everything that they're in, especially Lena Headey. She's wonderful. So I really like the family aspect of this movie. I don't know if I'd go as far as saying that this is a family movie. I think it'd probably be appropriate for most audiences, but it had a great family aspect about families that staying together, families that work together, support each other. It had great moments of growth for even the parents, having to understand that maybe my dream isn't always going to be my kid's dream. Really good family movie, some great messages in there. It's a great story about how to make your dreams come true. And are your dreams really what you want? Really what you think they are? Paige had some moments of self-examination where she had to ask herself, is this my dream or is it my parents' dream? So really wonderful stuff in this movie. Also good, Vince Vaughn. Yeah, I'd say that this is much more than a Rock movie. This is a Vince Vaughn movie. He played the coach, and he coached her from what I guess is the minors all the way up to the WWE, and he was great. He was great. So yeah, Vince Vaughn, really good. Had a lot of the funny moments, but he also had a lot of those drive home moments where he was able to bring home a lot of the lessons in the movie, especially the lessons of maybe your dream isn't your dream, it's your parents' dream. and you have to find your own path. So, loved it. The Rock, as little as he was in this movie, he was good. He's always good, though. Very charismatic and very funny. Really only had 2 big scenes in this movie. And but when he was in it, it was funny. It was fun. It was good seeing him on screen. Let's see. We already talked about finding the meaning in your life, finding your purpose, and we talked about the brothers' arc, about how you don't always have to be doing something that makes you famous to be doing something meaningful. So I love that, and that really hit home with me. The bad, there really isn't a lot bad in this movie. This was a really, really good movie. I can't drive this home enough. It was really good. If anything was bad, it's the predictability of it. You kind of felt some of the beats that you get in a lot of sport movies, and you kind of was just waiting for certain sport movie cliches to happen, and most of them did happen. But it's pretty forgivable because the characters were so well done, the acting was so well done, it was funny but serious and heartfelt. I can't say enough good things about this movie. I mean, I don't give letter grades, but it would be an A. I mean, it's really good. So absolutely see this. You do not have to be a WWE or a wrestling fan to see it. Like I said, I'm not. I've probably watched a couple wrestling matches in my whole life, and that was back when I was a kid. And even when I was a kid, I watched it and thought it was silly. All right? Yeah, I stuck with comic books. Right? So yeah, don't have to be a fan of wrestling to appreciate this movie. Appreciate the acting that happened, the characters that you saw, and the journey that they went on. Especially Paige and her brother. They were the 2 main characters. They were the 2 main characters that had some journeys. Paige had a journey too. You know, she went into this with the wrestling side. She went into this with, I'm a wrestler, and she had to understand that wrestling is entertainment, and that they're going to bring women in who don't have a wrestling background, who have modeling backgrounds, who have dance backgrounds, cheerleading backgrounds, and she had to reconcile that with herself and stop judging other people because of their background. So it was great. Love this movie, and I can't recommend it enough. Make sure you check it out. Fighting with My Family. I am LQ. This is the LQ Review, and if you like what you saw, subscribe, and you can find me at the LQ Review on Facebook. And how about you? Do you plan on seeing Fighting with My Family? I recommend that you do, but what do you think? Write down in the comments below. Thanks, and as always, I'll see you next time.